tasir mimenu la'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. We continue with the Shema, page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed.
Please be seated as we continue on page 36 with the Via Hafta.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your strength, with all your being. Set these words which I command you this day upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way. When you lie down, when you rise up, bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your house and upon your gates.
Page 39, we read together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. As the children of Israel sang as they crossed the Red Sea, we sing Mi Chamocha, page 40.
Mi chamocha bo'elem Adonai, mi chamocha neder b'kodesh. Nora tehilot oseh peleh, nora tehilot oseh peleh. Machotecha ra'u banecha, bokeh hayam lefnei Moshe Miriam, ze Eli anu ve'amaru. Adonai Imloch, Adonai Imloch, le'olam va'ed. V'ne'ema kifad Adonai et Yaakov, u'kilo miyad chazak mimenu, baruch atah Adonai ka'al Yisrael.
If you lived in New York City in the 70s, you might have attended with your children Leonard Bernstein's children's orchestras. He would put together concerts specifically for children in order to learn to love classical music. It was explaining the music in a way that was understandable. In the same way you might not get a movie or a book or a piece of art or a piece of literature, and then someone explains to you and it comes alive, such it is with liturgy. Anne and Kai have been so welcome to tunes I've suggested or vibes I thought you'll hear tonight with Psalm 27, this beautiful tune that's supposed to bring in to the high holidays. Hashkivenu, which we'll pray in a moment, is one of those songs that whoever composes it really uses a tune that expresses the up and down of lying down and waking up. Lishkav, Hashkivenu's root, means to lie down. We say this prayer at night as we lie down, but we also have hopes of rising up, of waking up in the morning. And so the words, grant us, O God, that we lie down in peace and raise us up, our guardian, to life renewed. It is the power of the up and down, of the going to sleep and waking up, and in that finding comfort and strength from God. That is the sentiment of Hashkivenu. We continue on page 42. Please rise as we continue with the tefillah, the central prayers of our service, on page 46 and the next several pages.
Michael
52, Ata Kadosh, V'Shimcha Kadosh, U'Kedoshim B'chol Yom Yahalucha Sela, Baruch Ata Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. We continue with Birkat Shalom, our prayers for peace for the land of Israel, on page 61. We read together. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. May contentment reign within its borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praised are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace. Baruch Ata Adonai, Marech et Amo Yisrael, B'Shalom. We continue on page 56 with Ritzeh. Continue in silent prayer. Shabbat Shalom. A rabbi and a priest walk into a museum. It's not the starting of a joke, but something that really happened at the Fort Lauderdale Museum many years ago. I had been asked to visit a new exhibit from the Israel Museum that was about objects that had been found that proved the existence of Jesus, nails like the nails that he would have been nailed to the cross with, and a sarcophagus that he might have been buried in of a similar type. The first rule of journalism is write what you know. And I was coming in to be interviewed along with a priest about our reflections of this exhibit from the Israel Museum. It was interesting to visit because the director of the exhibit from the Israel Museum did not understand how complicated it is to be Jewish in America. One of the biggest disconnects between Israelis who are in Israel and American Jews who are here in the United States is not understanding what it's like to be a majority or a minority. Anyone who has visited Israel and been amazed to see that everyone, from the prostitutes and the garbage men to the president, are Jewish, and it is overwhelming. For Israelis who visit America, they see what a small minority we are. Our minority nature doesn't always affect us day to day. And in some days, it doesn't bother us at all. But in recent times, we have seen that Jews have been called out in this country for what is going on in Israel, whether or not we are connected to it. It is a complicated disconnect. And so as I walked through the museum with the priest and interviewed by the reporter to comment on what it was like to see all these structures, I could see that for the priest, this all meant so much. To have objects from the Holy Land that were representing a time and a person that meant so much to him. For me, it was history and interesting. But I realized by the end of the trip to the museum with the priest and the press that it wasn't about me representing a Jewish view of what it meant to have objects from Jesus' time, whether they were actually associated with him or not, but what it meant was to be in the presence of faith, of deep and enriching faith, of watching someone come so close to objects that meant so much, to watch the priest be so excited to see nails that might have been around the time of Jesus and coffins that might have been around the time of Jesus, and to watch this faith. It is that faith, that tremendous awe and gratitude that we are supposed to come into the high holidays with. And yet, we have been in this way for 11 months, and we are tired. And so this Hebrew month of Elul acknowledges that we are withered. Have you ever seen a grape that is dying on the vine? Not disconnected or on the ground, but literally a grape on a live vine. All the other grapes are alive and getting the nourishment that they need to stay alive. But then occasionally there's a grape that is dying on the vine. Your eyes could be drawn to the beautiful full and ripe clusters, but if you look more carefully, in almost every vine you will see one grape that is shriveled and dried right there on the vine. Judaism understands that right now we are on the vine and we are shriveled. And so the month of Elul is to nourish us. There is no way that a withered person can go into the high holidays exactly a month from now and go before God and ask for forgiveness and ask fellow human beings forgiveness without nourishing themselves. It is a picture of greenery that perhaps best represents how the nourishment of this community is necessary. You have to remember that I interviewed a few weeks after the hurricanes that had hit you so hard. I'd never been to Sarasota or Longboat Key before, even though I've lived in Florida since 2002. And so I had no idea what to picture. So to me, it was all beautiful. The search committee would point out, oh, this used to be here, or this was flooded 4 feet, or this or that. It was all gorgeous to me. I had no idea. Even driving down Bay Isles Road, it is lovely to me. And then, a few weeks after I started, I saw in the newspaper a picture of Bay Isles a year ago, with trees pouring over into the entryway, down the lane, past the post office and the tenant center to All Angels Church and this synagogue. It reminded me also of In the Sound of Music when the Von Trapp family bikes through that way in Vienna and the trees form a beautiful arbor above them and clustered. I had no idea what Bay Isles looked like last May when this picture was from. And so even if you don't realize that you have lost some of the nourishment that you have, Judaism does. Those trees now I look at a little differently. I see they are bare and they need more leaves. Some have to be cut down and some will grow again. But that is the toll the year has taken on you. Not just the grand toll of being a part of the Jewish world, but being a resident of Longboat Key. Jewish or not, you have suffered. And so in the withering, like the grape on the vine, this month is supposed to provide nourishment. So how do we find nourishment? Well, like the Rashi quote that says the beginning of the year brings a new light and we look at fresh eyes, that is us. You literally did not have services in this sanctuary on Yom Kippur because of hurricanes. And so to come back again, as difficult and frustrating and hungry Yom Kippur can make us feel, we will probably relish in being in this sanctuary just to be here. We will rejoice because, God willing, we will able to be here together. Sometimes Judaism makes it rougher to do the work and withers us away further. Do you know that while Yom Kippur and Rosh Hashanah forgive all the sins between God and human beings, if you have sinned against another human being, you have to go to them and ask forgiveness. If you ask them 3 times and they say no, you are clear. But you must do the hardest thing during this month of Elul and figure out who you have hurt and apologize to them and atone for your sin. Human to human must atone, but the high holidays forgive between humans and God. And as withering as that sounds to have to go to people and say, I'm sorry, ultimately it is nourishing. It is not fun to say, I'm sorry, but the relief that comes after knowing we have can nourish us once again. As I said, during the month of Elul, it is the tradition to say the words of Psalm 27. It begins, the Lord is my light and my help. Whom shall I fear? God is the stronghold of my life. Whom should I dread? It goes on to talk when evil assails us, God is with us. And then in this very confusing ask, it says, I ask one thing I ask of God, and then goes on to ask 2. But isn't that the way that we always are? We want one thing, but we really want another. We just want to be safe from hurricanes, but how nice would it be for the trees to be abundant again? We want to just have a happy, healthy new year, but all of a sudden being in the sanctuary means so much more. And so the psalm says, one thing I ask of God, only that do I seek, to live in the house of God all the days of my life, and to gaze upon the beauty of God in God's temple. In other words, the 2 things we are asking is that wherever we go, God is with us, and that when we are in this space, God is with us. It is 2 things that we ask, and yet there is so much more of the asking behind it. It means that we are complicated human beings. We can be nourished and withering at the same time. By just naming that, we acknowledge that. With the withering, there is loss and pain and difficulty. And in some ways, we are like those bare trees that have been battered and beaten like the year that has passed. But we also have the ability to be nourished by God. And that is what the psalm wants us to remind us, that there will always be enemies and always be difficulties and always be hurricanes and always be people that hate us. And yet at the same time, how lucky we are to have God. The nourishing and the withering go on in equal measure. And the psalm reminds us that we are allowed to expect more things, not only from God, but from ourselves. We are allowed to view the world with all its difficulties that can wither us, and at the same time glom onto God in a relationship that will nourish us. But how does that happen? How can we be nourished and withered at the same time? Well, it comes in that moment of human interaction. God is always there for us. God is present for us. It is up to us whether we see God. Humans, not so much. Think of people that you have abandoned, who have abandoned you, those who have reduced you to nothing or you have treated offhandedly. That is the place where God is restored. If I can act B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God, and understand that is between the way we treat one another that God is found, then the nourishing will happen. To do the hardest thing of the month of Elul, to look inside and figure out what I have done wrong, gives the greatest reward of entering Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur, the high holy days, knowing exactly what we need to ask forgiveness for. We are right now 3/4 of the way through the book of Deuteronomy. That means the high holidays are close. And what we are infused with at this time, in this portion of Shoftim, is laws and rules and things that we have to do. When we are 3/4 of the way through the first book of Torah, the book of Genesis, there are no rules. There is just a family with fullness of dysfunction. It is Joseph and his brothers that are fighting and hating each other, so much so that they betray their father and move down to the land of Egypt. When we are not kind to one another, we get what we get through 3/4 through the way of Genesis, which is a family that almost destroys itself and the Jewish people, a family that loses the land of Israel and instead goes on to Egypt. But here we are, 3/4 of the way through the book of Deuteronomy, and now, as a people, we are prepared to accept God's law. We have repaired from the Joseph saga. We have wandered through the desert for 40 years. We have grown as a people. We have realized that we can do this even without Moses. And so at this time, we are nourished. There could have been a withered people that traveled through the desert for 40 years, but instead we are nourished by that time. We are nourished by the growing up. We are nourished by the forgiveness. And so as the nourishing and the withering go on in equal measure, there is nothing wrong with having both. In the same way, there is nothing wrong with Psalm 27, asking for one thing and then going on asking for two things. We are complicated. We need growth. But even when we are withered, we still thrive. Those trees on bay aisles may have less leaves, but they are still beautiful. And think of how much more we will appreciate them when they are abundant and green and full again. And for those relationships that have withered, think about how much more abundant and beautiful they will be when they are nourished again. Take the time in this month of Elul to reflect on the words of Psalm 27, to know that you have the right to ask for God for everything that you want. God will always be there for you. But what should be on that list too is asking for goodness for the rest of humanity. And for in that, God is greatly found. Adonai Natan, Adonai Lakach. God has given us to each other. God willing, we find strength in that. And we say, Amen. Amen. Continue with the words of Psalm 27. Please rise as we continue with our prayers for healing. The ark is open. Yishaberach Avotenu v'Imotenu, may the one who blessed our ancestors bless all those in need of healing. May God grant chokmah, wisdom to those who care for them. May God grant ahava, love to those who hold them deeply in their hearts. And may God grant chazak va'amatz, courage and strength to all those in need of healing. In our prayers this evening, Joel Lowenstein, Joan Horowitz, Stephen King, Terry Burke, Linda Mack, Connie Madoros Jacobs, Dr. Phil Gaines, Nelson Mishkin, Shirley Fine, Bib Grossman, Linda Rosenbluth, Joel Feidelman, Warren Opal, Joyce Cooper, Louis Beck, Gail Frank, Nancy Eisenstadt, Angela Mantilla, Rabbi Ori Regev, Judy Tobias, Eliana Bat Harav Yehudit, and those names that you add as my hand meets your gaze.
Sandy Paris. Robert Baker.
David Callahan and Mary Ruth Beatty.
Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Remain standing and continue on page 282 with Aleinu L'Shabeach.
Aleinu L'Shabeach Le'adon HaKol, Latet Gedula L'Yotzeh Bereshit, Shelo Asanu Kegoyeh HaRatzot, Velo Samanu Kamishpachot Ha'adama, Shelo
At this time in our service, our thoughts turn to those who are no longer with us, those who died at this season in years past, and those who have been laid to rest in recent days. If you are observing the yahrzeit, an anniversary of a death or a death in recent times, or if you have someone who has recently passed away, We invite you to rise when the name of your loved one is read. On the yardsites, the anniversaries of their deaths, we remember Omar King, Aidan Yerushalmi, Albert Kasdan, Belle Schiller, Elise Herzog, Pearl Orkek, and those who have been taken away in more recent times, Jacob Ellis, Harold Ronson, Dr. Burton Silbert, Michael Reiner, George Volin, Ned Yingst, Jean Betty Weiner, Robin Green, Norma Greenwald, Robin Kasdan Toby, Scott Galinsky, Dr. Leonard Katz, Maxine Kleinman Opal, Sarah Lynn Milgram, Yaron Lashinsky, Mort Siegel, Richard Harold Weisskopf, Gary Steinman, Andy Roberts, Bonnie Haber, Dr. John Edward Gudeman, and those names that you add as my hand meets your gaze, and those who are online at home. Zichronam Levracha, may all their memories be for blessing. We rise and continue on page 294 with the words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma devarach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayei chon uvyomei chon, uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal, shemei dekudesha brichu, la'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. May the source of peace and peace to all who mourn and comfort the bereaved among us, and let us say amen. Please be seated. If you have noticed in the last few weeks, there's an ability to see one of the smaller Torahs in the Ark because the larger Torah has moved to the library, thanks to our Minyan regulars, many who are here, our Saturday morning Minyan. We are now in the library, and it's warm and wonderful, and if you have time or desire, 10 a.m. on Saturday morning, it is a beautiful service, beautiful Torah study, and beautiful spirit. And tomorrow will be extra enhanced because our executive board member, Stuart Sinai, will be reading Haftarah from Shoftim. So hopefully you can join us for that. And so we turn things over to Stuart at this time.
Good evening, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. And
Shabbat
thanks
Shalom.
very much, as always, for being with us tonight. And thank you, Rabbi, for your inspiring, interesting comments. Rabbi Simon commented a few weeks ago about what a delight you are, and you bring light to the darkness.
Thank you.
And my carol, in fact, says that every Friday night you teach us something and you take us on a spiritual and intellectual journey as you did tonight.
Thank you. Thank you.
Anne and Kai. In the past, I've used every superlative I could think of and ones that I could find in the dictionary, but I still can't express how beautiful your music and songs are and how they affect our emotions and engender a deep spiritual experience. Thank you, my Carol, for lighting the Shabbos candles tonight and bringing the light of Shabbat to us as you bring to me every day. 2 points. You know, at TBI, we share our Jewish culture, our traditions, and our ideals that have sustained the Jewish people for thousands of years. Almost 6,000 years. Can you imagine something being around for 6,000 years? And we've been here in Longboat doing our part to sustain our culture and traditions for 46 years. Now, my carol says I have 2 recurring subjects that I keep talking about that just drain the warmth from the sun. Of course, my first role is as you will understand, is as cemetery chairman. And the next one is, as treasurer, I continue to have some serious concerns about our financing and our financial vulnerability. I call it keeping the lights on. As you know, and I've said too many times to count, our dues only cover about a third of our yearly operating costs. Another 10% comes from our gala each year, and that's why that is so important. And 57% comes from contributions during the year. Can you imagine each year for 46 years, some of our members have stepped up and made some substantial contributions to us. Now, and gone way beyond dues. And it's because of that that we still exist today. So I just ask that you recognize this reality and consider what you might do to help us continue for another 45 years. I want you to know that we have continued to cut costs. 2 years ago, we were running at a burn rate. You know, that's the amount of money that we burned, that it costs to operate this place every month. And it was $117,000. We've cut that down. Over the next 2 years, we cut it down to now $98,000. Still substantial. And beginning in October, we're going to be approximately $90,000. So we've cut expenses almost $30,000 in the last 3 years. It's because we made a number of improvements to our building in those prior years, not including the lobby that Mr. Harold Ronson financed, but our own cash that we used to do that door and the walkway from that door all the way around and railing cost $66,000. And other improvements, the ventilation we have in here during COVID is supposed to, we bought the best you could buy, and it's supposed to eradicate 98% of the bacteria that runs through it. I doubt that, of course, but that's what they said. In any event, we're all doing our part. And again, hopefully we'll be around for the next 46 years. And I think I'll spare you the cemetery tonight, so. So now on to announcements. The last time I was here several weeks ago, I talked so much I forgot to do the announcements. So now I'm going to do them. And as the rabbi was saying, tomorrow at 10 o'clock, we have services, and I urge each of you to consider coming at least once a month so that we have a minyan. We have a group that comes every Saturday, and sometimes it's only 8 or 9 people, so it's very helpful when some come at least once or twice a month, and we have several that do that, and we have a wonderful service with a rabbi, and a study session after the services, followed by coffee, collegiality, and a few nibbles. So please consider coming when you can. And now on to further announcements. You have in your pamphlet here tomorrow our Shabbat service. And on the 13th, we begin our first holiday kinds of services with the Shalichot service and dessert reception. We have the Challah Bake on the 18th. And on Thursday, the 23rd, after Rosh Hashanah services, we have luncheon at Michael's on East. Call the office, please, and to make a reservation. That always turns out 65 to 75 people that come to that luncheon afterwards, and it's a nice way to participate in the holiday. So thanks very much. Carol and I wish you all a meaningful and beautiful Shabbat. Thank you.
Shabbat Shalom. And I can ask for, here, at the top.
Oh, yes,
That was your Carol's
I may have forgot something. Is anyone here from out of town?
Anybody new here? Not been here.
Yeah, is anybody new here?
Fatherland's from out of town.
Okay. Oh, first of all, is somebody here from out of town?
Wisconsin.
Oh, please
right?
stand.
Yes. Wisconsin, is that right? He's wearing a Michigan kippah, so just be
Yeah.
careful.
Where are you from? Milwaukee. Oh, Milwaukee.
He's
Yeah.
got his Michigan kippah on.
Yeah, I'm wearing my University of Michigan kippah for the game tomorrow night.
I'm a Badger, so you're good company.
And
I'm from Durham, North Carolina. I'm also from Milwaukee.
welcome, very welcome. And thank you, everyone. Rabbi, it's all yours.
All right, thank you. Shabbat Shalom. We'll rise at this time and conclude with our closing song, Lechi Lach, which is on page 341. Please rise. Afterwards, we'll join with Barbara in the social hall behind us as we conclude with Kiddush and Motzi in the sanctuary. We want to thank the Goodmans again for these gorgeous flowers that are here and offer you condolences. And again, Lechi Lach, page 341. Today marks exactly 3 months that I have been with you, and one of the things I started when I came here was a priestly blessing. And while it's offered to the whole congregation, when someone has something special, we single them out particularly. And so it is Sam Samuelson's 85th birthday, and so we're going to invite him up to join in the priestly blessing. After the priestly blessing, we're going to sing Happy Birthday, regular old school style. And I just a compliment, one of the greatest things about this 3 months of being here is the abundance of clergy. There's so much clergy here, like in addition to our rabbis that are here, a part of the synagogue, which have been so supportive. There's so much clergy in the community. And when Mitch and I joined, one of the first people we met was Marion and Sam. And Michael Sheffrin, who is the one of the rabbis at their other synagogue, Emmanuel, said to me last night that Marion and Sam are like the power couple of Sarasota. And it's true. There's so much love and Judaism and warmth to go around that we can all be supportive and loving of each other. So Sam, we're gonna invite you up here as the bestowee of the priestly blessing. We'll follow by Happy Birthday, and then we'll hang into the sanctuary. Yivarecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you. Yisad Adonai panav elecha v'yisamlecha shalom. May all your paths be paths of peace, and may you know Ad Mea Be'esrim until 120 like Moses, or Ad Mea Be'esrim until 100 like a 20-year-old oak. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Sam. Happy birthday to you.
Shabbat Shalom. We'll head into the social hall for Kiddush and Motzi. Shabbat Shalom.